Oh my freaking goodness, Tigers fans. We showed up and we took names last night against the Dolphins. What a freaking game. Are you guys frothing as much as I am right now? Because I am ecstatic. Today we are diving deep into the key players, in my opinion, that stood out to me. Both the repeat offenders and the ones who are proving their class every single week. And like the underdogs that I didn't even realize had this level of grit and intensity in them. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jordy. I'm a diehard Tigers fan. Simple as that. I bleed orange and black. If you love the club as much as I do, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button. It helps me and the algorithm out a ton, and it helps spread the Tigers love for our boys that we all love to get behind every single week. Right off the bat, our first set was electric. Just watching like the big runs, the crisp passing, and just the beautiful intensity of the quick play of the balls were just making the Dolphins defense stumble and struggle. And we repeated that for multiple sets, gaining big meters, right? And then they got an early 8-0 lead, sure, off a line break try, but that moment, that's where we turned up the heat, in my opinion. You know that, and who got us on the board? It was Sania Turuva. Like, speaking of Turuva, he's like has so much speed, strength, and just the ability to find gaps and attack them is just. It's crazy. Defenders just can't hang on to him. So, like, he was absolutely pivotal, in my opinion, last night. 2 tries for him this game, and while that puts him at 5 for the season already, like, he is an absolute unit that we rely on week after week to get us points. And as the game wore on, the Dolphins' attacks started finding ways around us. Not going to lie, they were forcing defensive shifts that I didn't like, but we did hold our own for the most part. And a huge part of that, to me, someone that stood out was Jack Bird. Would you guys agree? Like, the moment he came onto the field, I kind of just saw his pressure. His defensive pressure was unreal, and the way he hunted down the ball carriers and got in their faces and refused to let up and was literally diving at their legs. His overall defense was just solid, and there were lapses, yes, no doubt about it, but those lapses, like, he just kept going hard, and Benji is going to be hammering those out this week, I think, at training for the team as a whole, because we copped too many penalties for these like little things that we could have controlled, holding on too long, high tackles. These are things that we do need to clean up as we approach the top 8 later in the season. And if we can do this and keep these teams toe to toe, like, we're going up against the Warriors next week. So these little things, we need to control what we can control, and we will be going in with a win. So going into halftime, I was pretty nervous, not gonna lie. Like any Tigers fan, we were down 12, and I was like shaking, and I was desperate for someone to step up and close that gap right before second half. And guess who delivered? My man, Talon Da Silva. We talked about him last video. He is an absolute beauty of a guy, and he scored an absolute beauty of a try off the dummy through defenders straight over the line. This bloke gets me pumped every time he touches the ball on that field, because he's all gas, no brakes. His game awareness is just phenomenal, and he actually executes on everything that he does. Like, that is next level stuff out of this young bloke. I genuinely think we are looking at an X-Factor player for this club in the making, and if we can keep him locked in for the future, we are set and we have a solid base for sure. So what do you guys reckon? How high is this kid's calling? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I'd love to know what you guys think of the bloke. Now, speaking of players who are already world-class X-Factor players, let's talk about our captain, Arpi. My goodness, first he sets up Safar for that try in the second half. Then he seals the game with his own beauty of a try out of dummy half. My goodness, was that something special. Just watching him fake dummy and then control the tempo and make it his absolute own in that role. Like, he is exactly why he's our skipper, right? Like, players like him don't come around often, and we are lucky to have him steering the ship. But here's the thing, who else in our team can have that same game-changing ability? And do you think we have X-Factor players like him on the rise? Let me know in the comment who you think, but overall, really impressed with him, as always, every week. And now, let's talk about our big boys, because I am frothing on these blokes. Royce Hunt, Terrell May, those two were just monsters in the middle. The way they were bulldozing through defenders and setting the tone for our sets, like, they just owned their role in the pack, and it was a massive part of why I think we had so much momentum last night. And it's a huge improvement from the previous games. We were running far better meters right off the bat this time around, and I give so much of the credit to those two blokes. I want to say they heard what I said, that we need to be more impactful and more powerful in our forwards, and I'm saying they heard me. I don't know. Maybe they're watching. I don't know. But like they were a killer duo. And while we're talking about killer duos, let's talk about Luai and Galvin. This was the most connected I think I've seen them yet. And I don't know. I was just super impressed with the way that they were working together. They were dictating the team, creating attacking chances. It was just a real step forward. Were there mistakes? Yeah, for sure. There always is. Luai had some drop balls, no doubt. And Galvin did have a few questionable decisions and runs. But the way they controlled the backline and exploited gaps and their pressure and intensity, that's what I wanted to see as a Tigers fan with my two playmakers. Like, this is just the beginning of these two. Give them time, and I genuinely believe they will become something so dangerous in those halves pairing in the comp that people will be trying to get them. Do you agree? Like, I know we've been talking a lot about Galvin and kind of the rumors around him, but yeah, overall super happy with their performance, and yeah, I would love to see how this continues to build week after week. And now let's talk about two of the most versatile players in this squad, two of my personal favorites, Adam Dewey and Jareem Buller. Say it with me, Jareem Big Baby. The runs and just the way they were breaking gaps, it was just phenomenal. I just could not get over Adam Dewey. His versatility as a player is phenomenal. I reckon we could put him at 5'8", sure. At fullback, even better, 100%. And like, why not? And center, like that's what he's been playing. Like, he is such a unit across the whole field. He is one of those people that I see a bright future for him with the club. We need to steward him well. We need to invest in him well. Give him meters, give him minutes so he can make those plays. And I guarantee you he will be one of our skippers in the coming years if he sticks with us, especially if we see people like Galvin move on. But overall, extremely proud of that bloke. And his kicking game was on point with those conversions. And yeah, like Jareem Buller as well, just the way that he can catch those kicks, run, dummy, do steps, all the things that get us more meters, get us off our try line and, you know, into the safe zone. Like, the way that he can run and read a field is phenomenal. And these two, I think, are going to be a likely duo that we see a lot more of, especially when it comes to line breaks and passing and things like that. I could easily see Adam like breaking through, passing off to someone like Taruva, passing back to Bullard. Like, that trio there, I could easily see that if that's the way we're running our boys. Like, they're phenomenal, and I am so pumped on their performance last night. But yeah, like overall, extremely proud of the boys last night. There were some things that I had some concerns about in terms of offense and defense, and then things that we can control. But if we can get those little things and clean them up, I think we are going to be just absolutely phenomenal going forward. I think we're sitting second or third on the ladder now, and my goodness, I don't think I thought I was going to be saying that this year, and it is wild that we're at this point. And if we can keep this going, we're up against the Warriors next week. Going to be a tough team for sure, but you know, with these kids that we have coming up, like, how high is their ceiling? How much more can we get out? And like, these are world-class players in the making, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know, I'm frothing on it. Definitely things that we need to talk about throughout this week to get us prepared for the New Zealand Warriors. But overall, man, like, I am pumped. I even had my wife watching the game, and she has now said she is a Tigers fan. She is saying Jareem Big Baby, things like that. She was watching that and she was pumped. She's from America, so like, this is not a sport of her country, and she was watching. It's like, this is awesome. I can see why you guys love this. I support the Tigers, and that is something to just be so happy about and to be dreaming big about. So you guys, as always, take it easy. You guys are legends. It's a great year to be a Tigers fan, and as always, we have so much to dream big about this year. Geordie out.